Hi guys. In honor of Stephen King's new book, The Outsider, being released later on this month, I thought I would do a complete Stephen King collection. As far as I'm concerned now, until The Outsider comes out, then Elevation, which I think is in October, and there's also a new anthology called Flight or Fright, which he's done with a couple of other authors, coming out in September. My collection is pretty much complete. The only things that I'm missing are The Colorado Kid, which I've read recently. I just can't find a cheap copy. They're retailing on eBay and stuff like that. They're kind of like ranging from anywhere between 8 and 50 odd quid. It was a good book. It was all right. Obviously it's one of his ones where people are debating could he have ended it differently, but nonetheless, if I pick up a cheap copy, I can find a cheap copy, I'll definitely add that to my collection. Cycle of the Werewolf, I've read that one recently. Again, it's not an easy one to get hold of cheap. Most of my books I've managed to pick up from eBay for less than £2 or charity shops for less than £2, and a couple of new ones obviously, but enjoy Cycle of the Werewolf, something different. Again, ranging from 11 to 15 quid on eBay, so not massive amounts, just weird when most of his other books are so popular and readily available, you can pick them up so cheap. And the final one is Gwendy's Button Box, which I've also read recently, so I've read all the three that I haven't got. Again, that was written with Richard Kismar, I want to pronounce it right, and yeah, I enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Again, it's one that is not easy to get hold of for really cheap. So, all in all, if you're looking at a good day, you're probably looking at maybe 30-35 quid to get those three, which is probably something I'll be able to do soon. But currently, I'm in no rush to having read those. The only other two that I'm kind of interested in getting, if I see, Charlie the Choo Choo, because obviously that fits into the Dark Tower, but also it's a kid's book, and as my little girl gets older, I'm quite a lot older. She might be interested in that, and Nightmares in the Sky, which is like a non-fiction kind of exploration of gargoyles and Gothic architecture and stuff like that. Again, not really bothered about those. They're not really cheap to pick up. I'm more interested in his kind of straight up fiction and short story collections. As you can see, I've pretty much got them all in chronological order on these three shelves here. On the top, which I'll show you now, I've got Sleeping Beauties, Owen King with his son. I haven't read that yet. That obviously came out last year. I've heard mixed reviews, so we'll see how that goes. I put that there obviously because it's one that is written with other people. Next to that, you can see the Talisman and Black House, which he co-wrote with Peter Straub. Just got those recently. Really pleased to add them because I've been wanting for a while. Looking forward to reading those. Over on this side, which you might not be able to see too well, which I'll get these now because these ones are quite rare. This is a copy of the Bachman books with Rage in. I've mentioned this so many times on my channel because it's one of my first ones and favourite books, so you probably don't want to hear about it again. But from here, I've read Rage, and obviously it's amazing. It's nice to have that in a copy, so it's a bit beat up. It's nice. And then we've also got Dark Visions, which is another rare combination. You can see George R. R. Martin before Game of Thrones fame, Dan Simmons, Stephen King. So it's like 3 stories. And the story that's in here is The Reploids, I think, which is not published anywhere else. We've got The Reploids, Sneakers and Dedication by Stephen King. And one of those I know you can't find elsewhere. I think it's Reploids, but anyone who knows better, tell me. And then you've got a couple of stories from the other guys. So pick that up, really cheap, 50p from a charity shop. It's not something I've seen a lot of on other collection videos, so I'm quite pleased to have that. Then we've got the revised edition of The Stand, which came out in 1990. It's a relatively new copy. The Bill Hodges trilogy, Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, End of Watch. Read Mr. Mercedes, currently a little bit way through Finders Keepers. Seemed interesting. And then you've got The Wind Through the Keyhole, the whether you want to say 8th or 4.5 book in the Dark Tower trilogy. Then you've got all the Dark Tower trilogy there. Only read the Gunslinger's Dark Tower trilogy, but enjoyed it. And then at the back here, we've got Danse Macabre, which I'll show you. One copy of that, and On Writing, which as a writer I found very helpful to actually have. Read On Writing, not read Danse Macabre. On Writing is really good, especially if you're a writer or an aspiring writer, or even if you want to learn a bit more about Stephen King's life and his biography. So I'll move the camera forward now to show you these. There's not much too rare on here, guys. It's pretty much standard copies that you'd find in most places. I've got a new version of Carrie from that remake they did. Read Carrie a long time ago. Probably need to reread it. Salem's Lot, haven't read. I love that book. Idea though. The Shining, read that of course. Great book. Night Shift, not read. Original version was done, not read. Dead Zone, not read, but heard good things. I love these covers, as everyone seems to do on YouTube. Firestarter, not read. Cujo, seen the film a long time ago. Nice little copy there. Different Seasons, I've read Shawshank and The Body from there, and which is Stand By Me, very, very good. Christine, this one took me ages to get hold of. Nice first edition hardback copy there. Should pull that one out. Very nice indeed. Really pleased when I found that in a charity shop, because at one stage I just used to go around all the charity shops where I live and just search for Stephen King books, and in my wardrobe I've got a big bag of duplicate copies of these books, so if you want to see those, put a comment. Pet Sematary, read, very good. Thinner, probably the book that started all this off, because I've seen the film on Netflix and I wanted to watch Thinner. I wanted to read Thinner and I haven't got around to it yet, but looking forward to it as one of the Bachman books. Skeleton Crew, not read, but looking forward to reading The Mist. It, you can see it's the movie copy that came out last year. Eyes of the Dragon, another one that took me a while to get hold of, but really pleased to have a first edition. And then Misery is a first edition, but it's a book club edition. As I've mentioned before, Misery was the first Stephen King book I ever read. I've still got the original copy in the wardrobe. Going down to the next shelf, we've got Tommyknockers, not read. Dark Half, really beat up copy, but it's nice to have. It's not one you see very often. First edition, 4 Past Midnight hardback. Needful Things, one I got recently. Not read that. Gerald's Game, read a long time ago. Very good, need to watch Netflix. Dolores Claiborne, watched the film a long time ago, need to read the book. Nightmares and Dreamscapes, one of the first ones I got. Not read anything from there. Insomnia, not read. Rose Madder, not read. I think Rose Madder is the first edition. Desperation, not read. And then next to that is The Regulators, obviously. Not read that either. Green Mile, I've read bits of. It's just a combined copy. If I could pick up the individual serializations relatively cheap, again, that's something I would have, but it's not something I want to say is necessary to complete my collection. Bag of Bones, Girl Lived on Garden, read a long time ago, loved that. Hearts in Atlantis, not read. And then if we go down to the bottom shelf, we've got Dreamcatcher, which I haven't read. I realise there's a lot of these that I haven't read. I feel like I have read quite a few of Stephen King's books over the years, but I've still got a way to go, definitely. From a Buke 8, then you've got Everything's Eventual with 1408 in it. Cell, read that a long time ago, probably could do with a reread. Lizzie's Story, one I'm very intrigued to read. Blaze, the last Bachman book so far. I don't think he'll release any more, but you never know. Doom with Key, absolutely love that book. Absolutely one of my favourites. If you know, it's not one that I think someone mentioned in a video recently. It's not one that gets a lot of acclaim, but you really should read that one. It's great. Just Had Sunset, read a few of them, pretty good. Under the Dome I got like more than halfway through, and then as I started researching it and how people weren't too keen on the ending and how the TV show had pretty much kind of debased it, I stopped. So I think I will probably try and start from the beginning again because it's been so long now, and try and get it done in one go this time. Full Dark No Stars, another one I got recently. Pleased to have that because that's his another collection. 11/22/63. Love that book. Really nice copy of that hardback first edition. It's a bit kind of ripped and torn, as you can probably see if I can get it out. Ugh. Yeah, you can see pretty much it's not in great copy, but I have got a paperback copy of that as well in the wardrobe. Joyland, hiding behind all these hardbacks here. That's the second hard case crime book, along with Colorado Kid. I've heard much better things about Joyland, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Doctor Sleep, reading that at the moment. Absolutely loving that so far. I know some people don't like it, and I think some people thought it was going back to the well a bit with, The Shining sequel, but I think it's amazing so far, and, I'm over halfway, and I guess it's just whether the ending lives up to the rest of the story, which is something you say a lot with Stephen King. Revival, similar to Under the Dome, read halfway, need to finish. Really intrigued by that book. I think the reason I stopped reading that was I don't know any spoilers, but it can be quite harrowing in parts, especially if you've got kids. So yeah, that's that one. And then you've got the Bizarre Bad Dreams at the end there, which is his latest short story collection. So all in all, guys, I'm really happy with this collection now. I mean, I think if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I've been aiming to collect most of them, and like I said at one point, I used to just collect numerous copies of each. So I've got like 2 copies of Carrie. I think I've got 3 copies of Firestarter. 3 copies of Pet Sematary, maybe. Definitely got 2 Skeleton Crew, maybe 3. So there's quite a few that I've got different versions of. So again, if you want to see that, let me know. I'll go through the ones that are in storage. But all in all, now I'm really excited for The Outsider to come out. I'm going to finish Doctor Sleep this week, and then I don't know what I'll move on to. I might read some more of the Batman books, although I am really keen on starting The Talisman, and obviously The Outsider will be out soon anyway. So guys, that's my Stephen King collection, what I'm calling my complete Stephen King collection until obviously his new books come out this year, and if I can possibly find any of those ones that I've read but haven't managed to pick up cheaply. So guys, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favourite Stephen King book is, or what you're reading currently, and I will see you later on this month when The Outsider is released. Thanks guys, see you later.